Should I bust into the All the Single Ladies song by Beyonce, or shall we just get into it? Hey there, welcome back to Pleasant Financial Conversations. It's often on this channel that I talk about different elements of Social Security, but I've never actually addressed the single woman stepping into retirement, making that Social Security decision, and how to make the best decision for her situation. And that's what we're going to get into on today's video. But before we get into that, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for a regular Pleasant Financial Conversation. And for you ladies who are looking for a place to talk about finances and kind of get your feet wet if you've never had to have those conversations, jump over to my online community, Pleasant Financial Conversations, where we talk openly about money, and I'll see you there. So before we get into all of the content, let's be clear on who it is that I'm talking to right now. Who I am talking to is a woman who is stepping into retirement, to the Social Security claiming years between 62 and 70, and needs to make that decision. This is not a woman that qualifies for another benefit. She does not have dual entitlements. She has her own benefit. To reiterate, this is not a woman who has been married for 10 years and then got divorced and is entitled to the divorced spouse benefit. This is not a woman who is currently married and entitled to a spousal benefit. This is not a woman who has been married and her spouse passed away and is eligible for a widowed benefit. And this is not for the woman who has been married for 10 years, got divorced, and that ex-spouse passed away. None of those. We're going to set all of those claiming strategies to the side. We're just going to talk to the person who is eligible on their own record and how they can make the most of it today. So of course, you know the statistics, women live longer than our male counterparts. And you should know that Social Security is based on, or the benefit that you received is based on a calculation that is tagged to the average age. So just know that you win by living longer. And may it be so. So in order to figure out how to claim the most on your benefit, there's a couple of things that you need to know about how Social Security is calculated. The first is that your official calculation is first made when you turn 60. Yes, you get estimates before then, but your official first calculation is at age 60. And from that point, you cannot have a decreased benefit from them. So even if you decide to quit working, you know that that is going to be your baseline calculation. However, in order to improve that, as you continue working, as you continue to improve your earnings record that it snapshots, then that benefit can increase from your age 60 and beyond. The second thing to know is that your full retirement age is somewhere between 66 and 67. The reason the full retirement age is important to know is that when you have your calculation made, if you decide to collect early, let's say it's age 62 and you're first eligible to collect, you are going to have a reduced benefit. And as I stated before, the Social Security calculation is based on your lifespan. So it's like they're discounting the amount that you'll receive because you're deciding to collect earlier, because they're trying to solve for a certain age. So when you're relying on your own Social Security benefit, my recommendation is to wait as long as possible to collect your benefit. And the reason why is your benefit grows from 62 to 63 to 64 to 65 to 66, all the way to age 70. If you think about it, that's like a little pile of money you got there. And if you get a cost of living adjustment, that's 2%, let's say 1 year, a bigger pile gets more money when you get 2% added onto it versus a smaller pile. 2% is a lot lower of an amount. So if you think about just simply your ability to make ends meet 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now, you want that benefit, that monthly amount that you receive, to be as high as possible. So don't shortchange yourself and collect as early as possible just because. Another tip to go along with that is that you should not be collecting your Social Security while you are still working. You actually get a little bit hamstrung with the amount of money that you can earn if you're collecting before your full retirement age. And so oftentimes I see some people say, I just want to, lean back, not work as hard when I turn 62 and start collecting my Social Security. But what that can do for your long-term financial situation, especially if you haven't saved as well as you needed to, is it gets you caught when you're in your 80s and you're not able to quite make the ends meet the way that you need to. So if you're still working, just plan to go full bore until you're ready to retire. Don't collect Social Security while you're working if you can help it. And when I say delay as long as possible, what I often see is that for some people, because Social Security is a pension-like benefit, that becomes the base of a lot of people's retirement. And if you want that to be as large as possible, between your full retirement age and age 70, you get an 8% bump up. And that's, guaranteed by the government at this point. That's not something that your investments can have a guarantee like that. And so if you think about this simply from the income perspective in retirement, if you can delay as long as possible, get that extra 8% bump up until you turn 70 and then start collecting it, you could be set off much more stably in retirement. And so for some folks, when just depending on what their financial situation looks like, we build in a bridge strategy. Maybe they've stopped working, but they've done a good job of saving. So then we're starting to pull from savings first and then initiate Social Security at another time. So that can be a good way to bridge the gap of income, but also make sure that your Social Security is getting maximized. Because Social Security is the foundational income for the majority of Americans' retirement, it's important to not go into that decision lightly, to not compartmentalize the decision and make it only from the context of Social Security. But oftentimes, frankly, as a single woman, you don't have those sounding boards available to you to run financial ideas by or considerations that you're, thinking about from time to time. So if you are ready to enter into one-to-one financial engagement, you're welcome to go to my website, www.pleasantwealth.com, to request a meeting. In a one-to-one engagement, we step alongside you and help you make those incremental retirement decisions so that you know that you are making the best decision for your situation from multiple angles of the conversation. All right, friends, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. And until next time, you take care.